didn't know what to do because I hadn't really set myself up for that. Probably waviest sound so far of 2021. I stopped doing magic and we're back. We are back once again. Hi guys, welcome back to the Ricky2ra podcast, episode 46. Well, clap yourself on the back. Clap yourself. Oh, I've ruined this podcast already. Tap yourself on the back if you've still made it 46 weeks in. Oh, yeah. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all keeping safe wherever you are in the world right now. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me week in, week out. I really do appreciate my listeners who listen just to the podcast alone because, you know, everyone's busy. You know, we've all got stuff going on in life, and it's always nice to just stick your headphones in or have your phone on the speaker or have something just whilst you're doing something else as well. I know that's one of the benefits for me. You know, when I'm filling stuff in the shop, I've always got a podcast on with my headphones, so it makes a big difference really, rather than watching like the full video on YouTube, because then I've got to physically just sit and watch. So, you know, big up to all the podcast listeners that are doing that as well. And if you're just listening and sitting, you know, there's nothing wrong with that as well. So yeah, I really do appreciate all of you that do listen to whatever I've got to say. So yeah, it's a pretty windy one here today in the UK. The wind is, like, you might hear it in the sound in this podcast episode, but we'll see how it goes. But yes, it is pretty windy. There's clouds, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain yet. It seems to be bright, so hopefully it's okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna let you guys know what I want to talk about today, why you guys are listening today. So it's a bit of a funny one to start off with, but I'll go through all the topics. So first topic is unmotivated, second topic is WandaVision EP7, third topic is end of lockdown ? And the fourth topic is my first Zoom show. So that's a pretty exciting one to finish off with. But I'm going to jump straight in to the unmotivated one because it's very funny how last week's episode was how I keep motivated, and I start off the week after with a topic called unmotivated, and I have talked about unmotivated as well in another podcast episode. But the reason why is because I was focusing, and these all link up, by the way, to my Zoom show. So the Zoom show, that's why I've left that last, because it kind of all links up. So I was unmotivated because I was focusing just on my Zoom show. It's my first one. I didn't do any bookings or anything during COVID because I was in the shop, and I would have really struggled to have balanced everything. Like the content, the rate that I was doing the content at the shop, and actually doing gigs as well, I would have very much struggled doing that, and I probably would have been burnt out, and you probably wouldn't have seen me for a month or two. So that's why I kind of left the gigs at the side. So when I got asked if I was available to do a Zoom magic show, I was very excited and very nervous at the same time when I read it, because I didn't know what to do, because I hadn't really set myself up for that. So I kind of said to myself, okay, so if I create something, well, first I needed advice on what to do, but then after that I got some stuff together, some magic effects and stuff, and started practicing. Now on the actual week of that show, I didn't feel motivated to do any content. So I was kind of unmotivated in that side because I was just focusing all on the Zoom show. So I'm going to talk about all that in that topic, but just for the unmotivated side, for that week of the Zoom show, it was very strange because I hadn't really done that. It felt weird. Like I felt motivated to do something, but unmotivated to do something that normally motivates me in general. So bear with me here if that makes sense or not. So yeah, I didn't feel like creating content, but it was still to do with magic, but it was just in a different type of form. So I was literally just focusing on the Zoom show. So I took some days off after the Zoom show because I didn't want to get straight into it again, to the creating content, because I needed to process what the hell just happened after my show. Because yeah, I enjoyed it, but it was it was a relief and excitement at the same time, and I did it. I did everything, but I'll get into that topic. But I just wanted to just take a breather after that because I'd focused all my time and attention for 4 weeks on that show, for 3 weeks during creating content as well. So I had to kind of put the content down and balance it with the Zoom shows and then go and work in the shop as well. So it wasn't easy. So that's why I felt unmotivated after. I think it was just the weeks that were building up, and then once I got the relief of actually doing it and finishing it, I just wanted a breather. So that's probably why I was unmotivated, or maybe taking a break. Who knows? But you guys know my opinions on breaks as well. So yeah, that's basically it. I wanted to keep that nice and short. It wasn't anything drastic. It was just something that I was doing really as well. And if you guys can relate, if you guys are doing something, whether you're at a job or something and you've got like a side project, or you're doing something else and you're just trying to find that balance, you've just got to put your focus on what's most important at that moment of time. And then hopefully after you've finished that important kind of block, whether it lasts 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, once it's all done, take a breather if that's you, like you guys know yourself, more than anyone, and then just get back at it. So that's what I did. And yeah, that was basically the unmotivated topic. I wanted to keep that nice and sweet and short. So you guys know by now, if you're a weekly listener, shout outs to the weekly listeners out there. You guys know that I'm watching WandaVision, right? I'm a big Marvel fan, and I think I remember saying that, I'm quoting myself here, I said I was a religious fan. I kind of take that back because I'm a Marvel fan. Yes, I am, but I'm not like a comic book like fanatic. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, if you say, "Oh, Ricky, what's this?" and I go, "Oh, it's page 7 of this comic." Nah, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm like kind of into the movies. And I did read comics like when I was a kid and stuff like that, but that doesn't make me religious fan. So I kind of take that back, because I know there's more and more fans that are more knowledgeable than me at this. But I am a big fan. So, WandaVision episode 7 aired last Friday. I'm currently recording this on the Wednesday, and there is an episode coming out this Friday as well, which I cannot wait for. But last Friday's episode was a madness. I don't even know where to start because, first of all, whoever created WandaVision, like, the cliffhangers that they leave you on is just unbelievable. Like, I don't think I've ever been this excited, yet sad, happy, all the emotions, stressed out, because I've got to wait a week in between each episode. Like, shout outs to all the WandaVision fans out there that are going through the same thing. Like, how can you, like, when this came out, I thought Marvel were going to release it all at once, but to be fair, they've done it the right way because it's building up hype for each episode, and there's only 2 episodes left, one this Friday and one next Friday, and you just know that this episode's going to be like a huge bomb, like it's going to explode in everyone's face because of what happened in this episode. And I'm going to talk through the steps that I thought were important and what I liked in this episode as well. So spoilers, if you haven't seen WandaVision episode 7. Right, Monica Rambeau, right? I'm not going in any particular order of the episode. I'm just pointing out some things that I liked and found interesting in the episode. So Monica Rambeau, she got her photon powers. She went through the hex. She went straight through it. She went in that kind of truck that scientist made for her. It was kind of disappointing that we didn't see who the scientist was, the aerospace engineer even. But I guess we'll see maybe in another episode. But yeah, she tried to go in that. Didn't work. The hex kind of tried to swallow it, but it spat it out and it changed it into like half truck, half car kind of. Monica Rambeau went say no more fam, and she ran straight through the hex and she got her photon powers through there due to the X gene. Since she's been in and out of the hex previously, it's kind of mutated her genes inside of her. So once she goes through again, Darcy did warn her that it could restructure her cells or something like that. So she turned into photon. She turned into photon when she entered the hex that time, and you could tell by her eyes were kind of like white, bluish, like light blue, I'd say. And she can see like the radiation of different things, especially when she went through the hex. She could see all the sound. Is it sound waves or radiation waves, something like that? So she's got her powers now, and it was teased throughout WandaVision when you got to meet the character. But yeah, now you know 100% that is her. This episode was more of a, because each episode has a theme. This episode was the Modern Family theme / The Office theme, so it kind of had a mix of both. More of the Modern Family, but you could tell like with The Office, of especially Vision looking at the camera, doing the whole gym stare at the camera and stuff like that. You could see that it had glimpses of The Office in it, especially the opening credits where it had a similar theme song as well, and it had the Modern Family kind of presentation to it. Yes, Darcy is in Westview. She obviously got handcuffed to the truck in the last episode, and once the hex expanded, she unfortunately got stuck and entered the hex due to the enlargement. So yeah, it was pretty interesting to see who she'd be, but she ended up being in the circus with all the other sword agents. So she was an escape artist because she was in handcuffs in the last episode. So yeah, she kind of met Vision. Vision kind of tapped her head, brought her back to reality, like he's been doing in the past few episodes. And they've just been kind of a duo in this episode, talking. She's been explaining to Vision what happened, because obviously he doesn't know life before Westview because he was obviously dead, and Wanda brought him back to life. That's still an unanswered question, how she did that. So yeah, Darcy and Vision talk. Kind of Darcy catches him up with everything that's going on since he can't remember, or doesn't even remember. And yeah, the reality inside the hex glitches. Wanda. Wow, I nearly forgot her name. How could you forget her name? Yeah, Wanda kind of, she's kind of like losing control of the hex since it expanded. Some things are starting to change, like the milk cart and the sofa, the TV started going through different eras. Her kids as well. You don't see much of the kids this episode. They kind of have like a back seat in this one. They kind of appear here and there. Until Agatha takes them to her house, because Wanda's just going a little bit crazy. So Agatha says, she'll take care of the kids at her house. which was suspicion number one. Really, if you weren't suspicious of Agatha already, because you've never really seen Agatha's inside her house. So I was thinking, will we see inside her house since she's taking the kids there? And you do, and it's very strange. Like, yeah, it just has a weird vibe when you see it. But yeah, Agatha and the kids separate, so Wanda's at her house, she takes the kids to hers, and yeah, you kind of just go back to Vision, but the kind of like the big, probably highlight of that episode was where, well, first of all, Photon and Wanda kind of get into a tiny tease. It wasn't a fight, a tiny tease to a start of a fight where Wanda kind of picks up Monica and then tries to put her down onto the ground, but she does a superhero landing, so that was that. But yeah, like I said, the highlight of this was probably Agatha bringing Wanda to her house and saying, Wanda was asking, where are the kids? She said they're in the basement, and Wanda goes into the basement, and you can see the aspect ratio going lower and lower until it hits the normal ratio that it is, and that means you're in reality. She goes into the basement. Basement's a natural evil lair. Agatha says she's Agatha Harkness. She's actually a witch. It goes into the most probably waviest sound so far of 2021, as people on TikTok are calling it, and it says it was Agatha all along that was messing up the reality, and yeah, she's a witch really. And God knows what she's done with the kids, because there's even now more unanswered questions. And I don't think they're going to answer any more questions. Well, maybe a couple more in the next episode, but I think everything will be answered in episode 9. So I've got to wait till next Friday, because I know how this TV show is going to work now, because it's just going to leave you hanging until the last episode. And yeah, luckily I stayed for a mid-credit scene, because I hovered over and I saw something and I went on it, and Monica Rambeau was about to go into the basement through the outside of Agatha's house, and lo and behold, Pietro comes through and says Snoop is going Snoop. And you know what that means? Snoop Dogg's confirmed for the next episode. No, it's not. I read that on a YouTube comment. But yeah, it kind of ends there. So it was quite a great episode, to be fair, and yeah, I kind of live for Fridays now just because of WandaVision, really. So I can't wait to see what happens in episode 8. Well, we know first of all Vision's coming back because he left Darcy because he was on his way to see Wanda. But distractions kept going in the way, but we'll have to see what happens in episode 8. So I'm going to leave that there, because I think I've talked too much now about WandaVision, but you can tell how much I like shows like this as well. So if you are a Marvel fan and haven't seen WandaVision, what are you doing? But if you are interested in WandaVision and haven't seen any Marvel movies, what would I do? I would probably... I guess you can watch it standalone if you haven't seen any of the movies. But if you want a deep understanding, I'd probably watch Age of Ultron. If you don't want to go through the whole of the movies, I'd watch Avengers Age of Ultron. And that kind of sets up Wanda and Vision. And then I'd probably watch Infinity War and Endgame. Maybe Infinity War. And then, yeah, probably Infinity War and then Endgame, because at the end of Endgame you kind of get the setup of that to go into WandaVision. So yeah, I'd probably skip through a few movies if you want to do it the short way, or if you want to do it the long way, just watch all of the Marvel movies and then go into WandaVision. Totally up to you, but that's my recommendations. So yeah, that was WandaVision episode 7. So we got 2 topics left. We're halfway in to the podcast episode. So I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes. I'd just like to shout everyone out that's supported me and the podcast or anything that I do. I really appreciate it. So if you guys are wanting more of this or any other episodes, these episodes are available all on any podcast platform: Apple, Spotify, Anchor, YouTube as well, if you want to see it in video form as well. Sometimes I do the odd magic trick. I show my playing cards or some other things that I've done in the past. So if you do want to see in video form, fair enough. But I really do appreciate it. And you know what? I've got more content coming out on my YouTube channel. I reacted to my first vlog video yesterday. So if you guys want to check that out, it's on my YouTube channel. It's Ricky2ra, Ricky2ra. So yeah, I'd really appreciate that. And if you want to subscribe, please subscribe, because I'm putting out content. Like, I'm trying to upgrade my YouTube channel now. So I'm trying to get there at my best as well. So I'd appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Okay, so let's go into the third topic. So the third topic is the end of lockdown, ? So Mr. BJ said there's 4 steps to get out of lockdown, and he's loosening things up as the months go on. I don't want to talk much about this, but it seemed to be quite a key thing that everybody is talking about, and I understand why. Even I'm talking about it, but I just want to keep it nice and sweet and short, just so you guys know, because I know the whole of UK already know anyway. And then I'm going to tell you just a bit about my opinion on it after. So, the first step of this 4-step plan, the first one is on the 8th of March, schools go back. 29th of March, 6 people from 2 different households can meet outdoors, and then various other things. I'm only doing the key points to what I thought it was. There's obviously more that gets loosened up. Then the second step is from the 12th of April, like non-essential businesses such as barbers can open. Third step, from the 17th of May, significant events such as weddings up to 30 people. They are large events can start at a limited capacity. Fourth step, from the 21st of June, nightclubs and large events can open, and there is no social distancing, I believe. So kind of the 21st of June is where everybody's waiting for. I was very surprised at this, but I'm quite happy at the same time, because if we go through the first couple of steps, we're halfway there, and if we keep up and behave, 21st of June isn't really that far if you think about it. We're in February. February's ended. We're in March. It's another 3 months, really. So if we all behave, we can do it. And yeah, it's makes everybody's mood happy as well. Like, if we all stick to the rules of what's going on, we all keep safe, fair enough, we're gonna get there eventually. So I would focus on one step at a time, in my opinion. I wouldn't really jump straight to the 21st of June, but I've already talked about it to people, like 21st of June's coming. So, you know, mentally we want to get there as well, but we've still got to take everything one step at a time. But if we do get there, like I can and everybody else can do events again. So shout outs to everybody in events that haven't been able to do what they do because of this. I hope you guys are all excited. I know I am for bookings, and I'm definitely going to try and vlog my first event back, and I'm going to clip in somewhere, because I know I've said in a very early on podcast episode that when events start again, I said something about me being in the hall or wherever I am and just looking around. So I'm going to try my best to do what I said there. But yeah, I can't wait, really, and hopefully it'll be a good summer if things happen. But I'm not going to go too ahead of time. So those are the steps. We'll see how we do. I'm just going to keep it nice and short from there, because I don't want to jinx anything. So yeah, let's just focus on step 1, from the 8th of March, schools go back, and 29th of March, you can meet 2 households, 6 each can meet outside. Let's focus on that first and foremost, okay? And we'll get there one step at a time. So yeah, those are the steps and just a bit of my thoughts on the end of lockdown. And for the main event, it is my first Zoom show, and I've got no notes on this. I put freestyle it, so I'm going to freestyle it, and I'm going to let you guys know if you didn't already know. So I did my first Zoom show last Friday, so it's nearly been a week already. Time is flying, by the way. But yeah, it's been nearly a week. I kind of got asked if I was available to do a Zoom show, and I wasn't prepared to do it at the beginning. I got very nervous and I needed advice from different people, and this is just me being honest. It's not like I didn't want to do it, just mentally I just thought, you know what, I can't do it because I haven't got anything, but I got advice, and I could actually do it, but I needed time. I needed at least 3 to 4 weeks, and they were kind enough to give me this time. So I kind of put a set together and seeing what effects I could do on camera, because doing effects on camera is very different to doing effects one-to-one, close up, or to a group in real life. So I needed to get that sorted. Once I got that sorted, I was practicing, and I was practicing, and it was difficult at the start because I had to kind of update my presentation, and I was thinking, would this work on camera? And I haven't really practiced it on anyone else. Bearing in mind, I'm rusty because I haven't performed since the end of 2019. So yeah, there's so many factors in it, but I managed to do it, the practice. I got there. I did a little slight setup change. So I had my iMac here, so it'd be blocking me right now, but I moved it back, and I had a backdrop. I actually put a picture on Instagram as well, if you guys are interested in seeing that. And I had my light kind of tilted up to the ceiling, so it kind of bounced back down on me, and everything went okay. In the show, I was very nervous. I set up my camera at the side. I didn't record anything on the screen, just for the privacy of whoever was on the screen. So I kind of put my camera over there on my cupboard, which was only directed at me. So that's how I got all my shots for socials. But yeah, I'm just going to turn the camera on and off, and I'm going to continue. So yeah, it was, that's what happened. So I kind of went on, got the Zoom link, and I think that's probably the most scariest part about this whole Zoom thing. If you're joining a show, or a event or something via Zoom, and you kind of want to join, and then everybody's just there on screen, I feel like that's the most nerve-wracking part. But once you get over that, you're fine. And I did stand up at some points. I kind of set up my show where I stood up for the first half, sat down for the second half, and I was rusty and I was nervous, but once I got into the gist of it, the nerves disappeared like normal, and I kind of just went on from there really, and hopefully they enjoyed it, and from what I've seen and heard, they have, so that's good, and it's a start really. There's a first for everything, and there are improvements to be made. I'm not going to say I was the best, but I'm not going to say I was the worst, because I'm performing over a year out, and I'm doing it on a completely different platform with some effects that I haven't performed in a long time or ever. So yeah, I needed that time, and I kind of documented my journey of me preparing for this Zoom show. So if I get the time this week, next week, or definitely in the next month, hopefully I'll edit them together and make a video out of it, and hopefully inspire other magicians that have been very doubtful whether to perform over Zoom, because I was one of them as well. So but it happened, it worked, it's done, it's dusted. So yeah, that's basically that. And once I left, I kind of had a brief moment to myself, because it was the first time I'd performed for anybody or a crowd in since 2019, the end of 2019. So it wasn't emotional. It was just it was a relief. I think it would have been emotional if I stopped doing magic, like for a year, like legit, like stopped, like a full stop, left it in the cupboard, and then brought it back and did my first show. I feel like it would have been emotional then, but I'd just been practicing magic throughout of lockdown anyway. So once I did it on Zoom and I left, it was just like a brief moment to myself, of relief that, you know, I can do things like this as well. That's what that last picture represented of my carousel on Instagram. It kind of looked like I was crying, but I wasn't. It was just a relief that I managed to do something like that as well. So you can push yourself if you do it as well. I think if you give yourself a time limit on practice and doing something, it's good as well. So I kind of did everything in the 4 weeks. I did everything in the 4 weeks that I could, and I presented it, and now I know what went right, what I can improve on, and make it better for the next one. So yeah, that's basically my story of my first Zoom show. And that's all for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Before I go, I just want to clear this up. That it kind of links into my first topic on Motivated. I said last week that I was going to upload episode 2 of the Sweet Review on Saturday. I'm very, very sorry. And I haven't forgotten about it. It just needs editing and uploading. Like I said, after my Zoom show last week, I just needed a breather. So that's why I didn't talk about it or upload about it. But I have not forgotten about it. So I'm going to edit it up probably what day are we on? Wednesday. Probably edit it up Friday maybe. I'll keep everybody updated on my Twitter. If you follow me at Twitter, at Ricky2ra, the same name, I'll keep everyone updated of when and where that will be uploaded. I have a feeling maybe the end of this week or next week, but it's definitely recorded. It just needs editing and uploading to YouTube as well. Like I said, I'm very sorry about that, but I definitely needed a breather after my Zoom show last week as well. And I didn't really put 2 and 2 together that would happen to me. So yeah, apologies for that people were excited about that. But I appreciate all the love on the first episode of the Sweet Review as well. So yeah, that is me done today, guys. I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy your day or night. So my name is Ricky2ra. Thank you for listening. Have a great day or night wherever you are.